Hey everyone, Max Voltage here. In January, I wound down my GPU mining operation at Terra, and in the month of March, I sold off most of the 24 mining GPUs, kept a few. Today, I will share with you the results of selling off my GPUs and a few secrets that helped me maximize my return selling on eBay. All right, so let's get right into it. First of all, don't worry, I still have plenty of GPUs, and I'll go over later on what I have each of them doing, but I have 31 GPUs still in the house. So plenty of work being done in this house. It's just not mining. Some of it is crypto related, but it's just not proof of work mining related anymore. So what did I sell? I sold 6 3070 Ti's. They ranged from between $350 to $380 sale price on eBay. I sold 10 3060 Ti's. Those ranged anywhere from $250 to $300 on eBay. And then I sold 3 3070s, and those ranged from $320 to $340. So let's take a look at what those results looked like selling on eBay. So this is the total sales. So the total sales says it's 6,100, but that adds in taxes and government fees and shipping labels. Well, shipping labels would be important if you weren't having the person buying buy a shipping label from you. Now, my shipping cost was probably a little bit higher than what I was taking in because I was putting insurance on the packages to make sure, and I was doing signature. So not on all of them, but on the more expensive ones, I was definitely doing that. So probably came out a little bit behind on that, but it was pretty even because I had one sale that was 5 GPUs at once. So I did save quite a bit on the shipping on that particular sale. So it's about equal. So my net of everything. Now this also, I should say, does also include a router that I sold for $80. So we can kind of look at this as being like an even 5,000 because it's saying 5,077.7 was my net. If you take out the router, it's going to be just over $5,000 for 19 GPUs. Now, if you remember, I said I sold 21. I did sell 2 GPUs, two 3060 Ti's to Retro Mike. I suggest you go check out that video. He has a really cool build with what he did with the 3060 Ti's that I did sell him. I'll probably put a link somewhere to that video on the screen. It was really a good video, so go check that out. Well, after you watch this, of course. But anyway, I'm really happy with this. So I'm not going to go through with what I got with Retro Mike, but 19 GPUs, I got $5,000. Before, I was getting people that wanted to buy them. The best offer I got was $3,900 for all 24. I sold fewer GPUs and got more money than what I thought I was going to get. So I'm very pleased. Now, the real kicker here is if you do the math, I only paid 11%. Now that does say 15% of total fees, but that's because it's taking into account the government fees and the shipping label fees as well. But if you trust me, I did the calculation. You take the net, add in the eBay fees, and you actually have to enter in one more. There's a $28 fee because I'm kind of giving it away here, but there's a subscription fee there of just under $22. And then I couldn't cancel the second month of the subscription. Evidently, it has to go at least 2 months, so I have to pay another $28. So basically, I'm paying about $50 in subscription fees. And why would I do that? Why was I getting the basic store subscription? Well, there's a big reason. You save 4%, over 4%. It's 9.35% versus 13.6% on GPUs. So that's a huge saving. So if you just do simple math, 5,000 times 4%, that's $200. So if I pay $50 for the subscription, but on the other end, I'm going to get $200, well, I'm going to net out of that $150. So what it ended up coming out to be is my net, eBay's net cut from all of this was 11%, which I came out another about $150 more ahead by going ahead and doing that subscription. Now, one key thing to keep in mind is you want to sell within a particular month so that when you cancel, you're only going to get one additional month. Now, it could have been because of when I canceled, because I canceled right at the end of March, on March 31st. So it may have been too late. They might have allowed me to not pay for that second month, but I'm okay with it. I still came out ahead, so I am really, really happy with that. Let me share with you a few other things that helped me to maximize how much I got out of my GPUs. Obviously, I already shared the subscription. That was the biggest reason why I got more for my GPUs. The second one would be, really research specifically the GPUs that you have to sell. And then the other part of it is, number 3, is keep the boxes. Selling GPUs with original packaging, original boxes, garners a fairly hefty premium over GPUs that don't have their box. I saw that time and time again, looking at anywhere between $20 and $50 more if you kept the box. Yes, it's a pain. You got to find a place to store it. But if you have the space, it makes a big difference. Now, I'm not going to lie. Sunflower Mama is happy to have those boxes out of the garage so that we can use that space for something else. But she's glad to see that it did something over the years. So with all that said, there's a couple of other things I did along the way. One was, so I had a 4070 Ti and a 4070. I decided to put the 4070 Ti back into my main rig. It wasn't doing that great on Salad. So I was like, you know what? I want a better GPU back in my main rig. So I put that in there. So the 3070 that was in there, I took out, and that was one of the ones I sold. And then my daughter had two 3060 Ti's, which worked great for her when she was doing machine learning at school, getting her degree. But now that she's not doing that anymore on her computer, and she's just gaming, she wanted a better gaming GPU. So I exchanged with her my 4070 to her two 3060 Ti's, and I sold her two 3060 Ti's. So I got about $460 or so. I sold them both for $250. So came out to 500, then minus the 11%. So it's going to be somewhere around actually $450 approximately. So yeah, I probably could have sold the 4070 for more, but it's my daughter. Seemed like a fair trade, and it was a win-win as far as I was concerned, because the 4070 just wasn't doing anything on Salad, and it didn't do that great on Vast either. Now, what do I have left? What I have left is I have 15 4090s left. I also have 7 3060s and 3 3090s, and all of those are on Vast. I also have two 3060 Ti's on Salad. And then I also have a 3060 Ti that is, I also have a 3060 Ti that is in my Tempe node, my Tempe Synaptron node, which is a requirement to make sure you get higher returns running your Synaptron node. So now that I've sold all those GPUs, what do I plan on doing with the proceeds? Well, probably going to do a panel upgrade. I have a lot of stuff still in the basement with selling compute, and pretty much am maxed out, and I'd like to be able to expand. Plus, my panel's 32 years old. The panel life, the life of a panel is 25 to 40 years. So I kind of feel like I'm living on borrowed time. And it says if your panel is under stress, which I've put my panel under stress because we put a lot of current through it, but pretty much not quite maxing it out, but certainly up there. So I think it's time that we upgrade from a 100 amp panel to a 200 amp panel. So I'll be looking to hopefully do that within the next few months. I've got to wind down the jobs that I have currently, which is going to hurt because right now I'm pretty much rented out, which is really nice. But drastic times cause for drastic measures, I guess. So we'll be doing that before we get into the heat of the summer. Hopefully be able to be doing it sometime middle to late May if possible. That will be my goal. So in conclusion, if you're thinking about selling your GPUs, eBay, in my opinion, is a great place to sell. I have had very good luck with it, but a couple of things to keep in mind. If you have a significant number of GPUs to sell, make sure that you get a store subscription because you'll save 4% on the final value fees. Make sure that you show if you have the original box or not. And if you have it, definitely try to ship it with the original box, inside the original box. And then lastly, make sure that you're checking recent sales so that you're not under or overpricing yourself on the market. So, hey, do you guys have GPUs still left to sell? What are you planning on doing with your GPUs? Or are you just going to continue to mine at a loss? Or are you one of the lucky ones that has 2-cent power? Let me know what you think in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And if you like this kind of content, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, or not. If you don't like it, hit the do not like button twice. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate it. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this video.